built inside.
That's gonna add to his assessment.
You're saying that the person,
No, you said they're not gonna come into the house.
yeah, you're saying the
I'm
person's
not
gonna-
expecting them to, no.
Well, how can they make it a true adjustment? They don't come to my house and they don't see everything updated. This guy updated everything, put a pool in his, indoor pool and all that. How do they know what he's got in his house and what I have in mine? And yet, we're both gonna pay the same rate.
Why shouldn't you?
You call it equity?
Same house.
That's equality?
Yes.
They're gonna take the
Yeah.
money.
No, that's socialism. Socialism. Unless I improve my house, what, to the rate he's improving his house.
Why should he, for the same house, for the same services, pay more than you?
No, I'm paying more.
Yeah, so,
For what? You're not getting any more services. You're not getting any more services. I built,
Well, that's
my
true.
example, you put a house, two houses, side by side, exact same square footage. I put in more insulation, more energy efficiency stuff, it's worth more. Why should I pay more in property taxes for doing the right thing? I'm not getting a penny's more worth of services.
so that's how the current,
The issue is
Taxes,
the property
exactly.
tax has outlived its usefulness as a source of revenue.
for renters.
For renters.
We are. You're going out if you don't pay your rent. It's just, that's the current reality, but I hear what you're saying, but I also, I think that the best way to do it, I mean, if you're buying a more expensive house, I think, currently, I think that is a sensible, this is my opinion, way in which to collect taxes. Because let's face it, the big houses are, in terms of real town services, a 400,000 house is really getting, for the most part, the same services as a $50,000 house. So in the formula you're suggesting, it should be the same for everybody. I don't think that that's probably feasible, because then you'll never sell a small house or a lower valued house. So I think that that probably is a tough sell. I think capitalistically speaking, it makes the most sense that the value of the house is how you base the taxes.
That's redistributing the wealth, that isn't.
No, actually, if you look at it, it isn't, because what you're doing is, capitalism is based on supply and demand. If your supply exceeds your demand, you gotta lower the price. If the small house's price and or taxes exceed the threshold to be able to afford it, you'll never sell it, and your properties are gonna sit there forever. So you gotta price it based on the value that really exists within that house, and then make it affordable, so that the supply matches the demand and you're able to sell the house. Following the one example, it would not meet that, and everyone would be buying the $100,000 house or the $400,000 house, not the $50,000 house, potentially.
I think we're so used to paying taxes around here, we lose sight of the real thing. About a year ago, I was looking for investors for my company, and I was down in Bethesda, Maryland, and I was invited into one of their houses, which was bigger than 99% of the houses in Grand Island. It had chauffeur quarters, it had a part where the car pulled in under the carport, like out, so they could get to all that. And his taxes were less. His taxes were less than mine. And I just lived in a bungalow, you know? And his comment to me was, you know, occasionally it snows down here and they do plow the streets. Okay? We're glad you all like to pay taxes, because the rest of the world sees it a little bit different.
Where a developer made arrangements with the town to build the streets and take full responsibility for the streets, the homeowner is paying taxes that are equal to a homeowner who received full services from the town. This homeowner, therefore, there's an inequity there.
I agree with you
Will there-
100%.
Will there be some adjustment?
Well, you made the deal, people who live in those neighborhoods made the deal with the developer when they bought that property. That's not something that I can change. I don't think that's something.
That's exactly what
We're talking about the homeowners association.
Okay, and there's a fee for that or something?
There is a fee for that, and there is a fee, and it's,
Well, example where the association is paying to have their streets plowed and maintained, and the town is not providing any service.
so why is your town tax the same as mine?
Our town taxes are equal to the person who's receiving their streets plowed.
Because you receive that service to get to from anywhere, to cross that bridge on the island, to get from that starting point to your property. That's why.
I'm sorry, it's a county road.
Either way, town and county taxes, it still is the same.
Doesn't make
But,
sense.
yeah, but you bought the property when you redid it to what?
Right.
You bought it that way.
Pardon me,
You
sir?
bought the property that way.
Well,
What's
I'm sorry.
what's the difference though?
I'm sorry, the matter may not have been disclosed by the developer.
That was your lawyer's job, to make sure you knew.
It's not,
Yes, ma'am.
If you built a house 20 years ago on the river and you weren't classified in the flood zone, and now you find out you are in a flood zone, they changed everything, will our assessment decrease because now we won't be able to sell our house?
That's an
That's a very
important
good argument.
fact.
That is a very good argument.
Sherry, you probably know more about this. Didn't some of the insurers put flood insurance when it doesn't really apply to Grand Island? Is that true or is that not true?
Flood map, just be wrong.
No, I think they changed the
They
flood
just, the flood
maps.
maps
They
just
just
recently
changed
In the last
changed,
3 or
and
4
it
years,
nails
yes.
there, and, you know,
So it's a real flood zone where some of it,
Well, some of the people I know, I don't know about everybody, but I know one neighborhood was able to, a few of the residents fought their flood zone designation and won. And won.
and it's a substantial.
It is
Very
substantial, and and it doesn't protect you. It
Right.
protects your bank. It doesn't
Yes.
protect you. So that's a very good argument that you need to make to me.
To you.
Yeah,
2 questions.
Sure.
Are the commercial properties being revamped?
everything's being revamped.
Okay. And secondly, how is it that the, the revale people, what do they do? What are they getting, how many months back are they going as far as comparables, things like that? We're having a hard enough time appraising property because we don't have the comps.
Well, those are gonna be the questions when we start having the information with the contractors.
Okay.
Those are the questions to ask them.
And I think that's an important point
That's
because if
huge.
it's the last
It is
2
huge.
years, it's probably close.
Right.
Well, keep it as
Go
tight as
back.
possible.
If
you
you
know.
go back 5 years,
Now, you need
there's
to
a
be in
bubble
6
there
months
that's
in order
way
to
up.
appraise the property right now for a bank,
Right.
and they're having a hard time doing it.
Yes, sir.
Will there be a preliminary study of a basket of homes? I know that's to come up with like an average basket of homes in Grand Island, to compare where the assessed value is and where the new value would be. I know you're not going to be able to pay to have the assessment done, but maybe it would be done on the current assessed value versus homes that have recently sold. know what I'm
You
saying?
want it like a sample before they get
Well,
started?
Like, that way you can gauge whether your home is beyond or under that average increase. If you had a cross-section of homes.
I
you
think
did a
that too
preliminary
is a
study.
question when we're all able to meet with the contractor. I'm just as green walking into this as everybody in this room, because I haven't lived through it yet. But I need to go on record saying I believe it. I think it needs to be done. Yes, ma'am?
I kind of think, I'm a realtor as well, I think Grand Island is one of the communities that is a better gauge of the assessed value as to market value.
Thank you, I agree.
I mean, we look at some of the towns, the assessed value has no relationship to market value. And here, if you use your 46.5, probably 70% of the time, you're real close. When you're, with the exception of waterfront and some unique properties, most of the time, it's coming in, you know, we take the assessed value, we double it and add a little bit, and very
Yeah.
often that's our asking
You're
price.
100% right. That's exactly why I say the prices
It's
have
not-
not gone down.
I don't
We have
think
a lot
it's
of
going to
inventory.
be as dramatic a change as people are anticipating.
Except for on the river though.
Oh, and I'm
Well,
on the
the rivers-
river, my taxes are gonna go up a couple thousand a year, but that's fair. I mean, my husband doesn't think so. I mean, it takes,
But that's
fair to be fair.
residential.
I'm sorry?
That's not a commercial.
Yeah.
I can work on that with you.
I think if you purchased though on the
I think you're
river
paying too much attention to the
in
zoning
the
part of
last
it.
3 or 4 years,
Let's take a
chances
look
are
at
it
it.
might actually go down
Okay.
if you're on the bubble.
It could go down,
It could go down.
because, yeah, the bubbles.
Let's see if there's any more. Hi. Mr. Lyons, you're very quiet today. I expected such
What about the situation where the property description is in error? We have a personal situation where we're charged for twice the area of our lot. Because once upon a time, the people had lot on both sides of the street.
Okay.
I've been trying to get that changed to no avail.
Have you come to see me?
Huh?
I'll meet you at your property.
Okay.
Our new assessor will take care of it.
No, I get these letters that I send them in and say, you know, no, it's not 1.1 acres, it's 0.6 acres.
Well, what we'll do is, if you want to talk to me when we're done here, I'll take your address. I have to go by what the county says. Otherwise, unless you want to hire an attorney, have a new legal description done, that's the only, and title work, that's the only way to fight it. We'll go by what the county map says, and that will be your acreage. Okay? But you need to remind me, because I got a lot of you out there. Okay. So here's the time frame. Oh, yes, okay.
It's sort of a curious question about the effects on the realty market here. These places that went to 100%, do they see a slowdown in real estate activity
No,
during?
that's my point, is no, they didn't. Nobody was put out of their house. Their markets, and this is the
No, I'm not
information.
asking that, I'm saying if I was about to sell a house, and I know they're doing a reevaluation, I'd either front load it or get it on the far side, but I wouldn't be doing anything while they're out here scribbling down and saying, oh, here's the market value. I'd let them play games or guess, and then I would have my sale
If that's
take
a
place outside.
concern, then you would have now to put it on the market and hopefully sell it, because this is our timeline, is we want the request to go out, we want to have our contractor chosen before March